Hey everybody, yeah, let me start off by saying I am so sorry I'm late, but I am back and I am here to give you my take on the haves and the have-nots. This is season 5, episode 13, titled The Right Cocktail, okay? And now this ain't a good type of cocktail, okay? Don't none of us want this cocktail. But before I even get into it, if this is your first time on my channel, please subscribe. I promise to give you great commentary on all your favorite shows. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your support. Now, well, before we get back to business, y'all, these Greenleaf commercials keep coming on, and I am here for it. Yes, like I cannot wait until August. But that was a side note. Power will be coming on in July, and I'm excited about that. Anyways, I've wasted enough time. Let's get into it. Okay, so the episode starts off where it left off. Of course, Candace in the hotel room freaking out because Oscar is like foaming at the mouth, non-responsive. She keeps patting him. She's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? She goes to get a bucket of water out of the bathroom, throws it on him. Still no response. So she's like, freak, like, do I have another murder on my hands here? This is what she's thinking in her head. So, of course, she decides, you know what? Let me call Rocky down at the bar. Certainly, we have something for emergency situations like this. Well, she calls Rocky. Rocky's not there, but the new bartender is. She's never worked with him, but he's like, yeah, sure, I'll be right up. You know, it's a 911 situation. Okay, so the bartender comes in the room. He looks familiar, and I'll get around to his familiarity later on in this review. But he basically walks in like super arrogant and like just like throwing out orders at Candace and asking her, like talking to her crazy. And I'm thinking, dude, you really don't know who Candace is. You clearly never worked with her before. But anywho, he's like, what did you do to him? She's like, what? Like, I gave him the usual, like a cocktail that Rocky made for him. And then he's like, okay, so what was in it? She's like, dude, I don't know. Like, maybe I should have asked him. I don't know. Maybe rum. He was like, I hope you're right. Oh, my gosh. So he's like real snappy, but she ain't even getting back at him because she just wants Oscar to not be dead because those weren't her intentions. So he goes into the bathroom, comes back out with his little black case, goes over to Oscar, merely pats him on the back like as if like he's choking or something. And then Oscar actually starts like choking and like throwing up. And she's like, are you serious? Because I could have did that myself. He said, but did you though? And she's like, okay, tread lightly. Okay, so anyways, then he has like something in a syringe so he can give him a shot of something. And when he gives him this shot, Oscar is like, like gasping for breath. And then he finally like wakes up, but he's having difficulty breathing. At this point, this dude is like, he's like, okay, it's time for me to get out of Dodge. Okay, I just saved your life here, Candace. And she's like, don't be so arrogant, little boy. And he was like, you the one that needed me. Whatever. So he leaves out. But she's not even bothered by him because she's like having to deal with this Oscar situation. So, of course, when Oscar gets up, he's a little alarmed. Like, Candace, what did you do to me? What have you done? She's like, what hotel are you at? He couldn't even remember what hotel he was at. He had to guess. She's like, do you remember anything else? He said no. She's like, oh, perfect. Okay. Of course, he's not going to remember that she basically lured him into the room, had sex with him, gave him a drug, put him to sleep, then went through his laptop and got some sensitive financial information. But he don't know that, okay? So next thing you know, she was like, okay, it's time for you to go. Starts picking up all his clothes off the floor, his shoes, everything. He's like, no, Candace, we're going to talk about this. She's like, nah, but like there ain't nothing to talk about, okay? Get out. Literally throws his stuff in the hallway and is like, get out. He walks out like, are you serious? Are you serious? She's like, I'm done with you. You can go now. He's like, okay, I'm telling you, you're going to regret this. So, of course, they play a back and forth game with each other, but she had the one up on him this time. So anyways, she calls room service, tells them, you know, she was a little sick. They need to come throw up. Clearly, they need to come clean up the throw up. Clearly, she has more business to take care of in this room. So she sits down. She gets a text from Gia, who is downstairs at the bar. Of course, Gia was instructed to get Jim to come to the hotel. So Gia texts Candace, says he's here. And then Candace says, make sure you get him the right drink. And I said, oh, this must be another cocktail like the one that Oscar has taken. Hopefully it's the right dose now so that Jim doesn't end up almost dead. Okay. So at this point, Candace looks satisfied, like, yes, everything is working for me. Okay, so then we see Jim shows up to Gia's table. Of course, the bartender that's working with Candace and Gia, he's at the table talking to Gia, but Jim doesn't think anything of it. He thinks the guy is taking her order. So, of course, he orders something, but they're going to do something special to it. It's probably going to put him to sleep. And Gia orders like a double vodka or something like that. She was supposed to order whatever she ordered. So, they start flirting back and forth. He's like, what'd you call me here for? She's like, buddy, you already know. Let's go to the room. And he's like, I was waiting, like you was wasting time. So whatever, she asked the bartender to send the drinks up to the room and they get lost to go get down. Okay. So next thing you know, Candace calls the bartender. She wants to make sure that her plan is working. So she verifies with him that Jim showed up, what they ordered, that he's going to make the right thing. And the bartender is like, yeah, he's not going to end up in the same situation like Buddy was earlier that I had to save your butt for. And she's like, excuse me? Like, do you know who I am? And why are you rolling your eyes? And he's like, what? And that's when she walks up behind him. Like, Candace has eyes everywhere, okay? So she walks up. Basically, at this point, you know how people say, like, somebody put the fear of God in somebody? She didn't put the fear of God, but she put the fear of Candace in him. Like, look, this is not a joke, okay? Like, I will kill you. Like, I will chew you up and spit you out. You are not going to ruin this plan for me, okay? I don't know you, but clearly Rocky trusted you. He trusted you too much because he's told you too much information. But you're going to get it together. Do you understand me? Like, the way that she talked to him, of course she said much more than that, but he was like, okay, I got it. And at some point, for whatever reason, he starts complaining about some police officer that, like, sexually violated him in the backseat of his car and then let him go. And I'm like, the dots are connecting. Is this bartender Leslie from the jail that was talking to Jeffrey last week? Like, y'all tell me, because I don't remember the new bartender's name, but I do remember the guy that was in jail that accused Justin of messing with him. His name was Leslie. I don't know if it was his code name, but he said that was his name. So, y'all, let me know if they're the same person. But whatever. In Tyler Perry land, okay, that was perfect timing for him to bring it up to Candace. And so Candace is like, well, did you have sex with him? And he's like, no, I'm straight. She's like, come on now, buddy, okay? I didn't been in this business for a long time. So, did you have sex with him? And then he's like, no. She was like, because the price wasn't right? He was like, of course. And then she was like, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Well, I'm going to keep that in mind and keep that in my back pocket. Y'all know she has vendettas against everybody. Against Veronica, against David, against Kathryn, against Jim, and always against Justin, because she can't stand Justin, okay? So Jeffrey stays on her good side because she genuinely likes him. So she'll probably pull that out of her back pocket. But anywho, okay, so now we have Oscar. Oscar has been kicked out of Candace's room, so now he's back in his room. He rushes to his computer and is hoping, like, Candace didn't do anything to his computer, opens up his laptop and realizes it's destroyed, like the screen is cracked. Oh my gosh. So he has the nerve, okay, to call down to the front desk like he is a VIP, very important person, telling them, although it's 3 o'clock in the morning, he needs a new laptop and somebody needs to go to the store and get him one. So the guy at the counter is like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, we have a computer center. Like, you can just go in there and use it. He's like, no, I need my own laptop. And the dude is like, okay, so all the stores are closed. And so then that's when Oscar is like, okay, well, have me a card ready at 8:15 in the morning. I need it ASAP because I need to go get a laptop. Great. So when he gets off the phone with him, now this front desk guy, he hasn't been around since the beginning of, not the beginning of this season, like some, when before Has and Have Nots went off in like March or February or something. This is the guy that was flirting with Kathryn, that helps her run the hotel, but of course he's just upper management. You can tell that he gave Jim a hard time, and he kind of is like really planning to use Kathryn, in other words. I forget his name, but he is the one that answers the phone. So he is also collecting pieces of the puzzle, trying to put it together. Him and Rocky actually they have a connection with each other, because as soon as he gets off the phone, Rocky comes up to him and they start talking about Candace, noticing that Candace speaks with Oscar a lot. Oscar is freaking out about a laptop, and they feel like Candace is up to something, some type of money scheme. However, they do know that Oscar stole money from her and she's trying to get it back. Now, Rocky hopes that Candace will cut him in on this money that she gets back. However, the front desk attendant, he knew Candace is probably not going to do that, but good thing I have my own plan in mind. And when Rocky walks away, we see the front desk guy text Kathryn like, "Hey, big head." Really, he didn't say, "Hey, big head," but he said, "Hey, Kathryn," basically like he's trying to butter her up a little bit because he wants her to be his sugar mama. Okay. So the next thing you know, we have Hannah. So Hannah is at home. She wakes up from after, she had a great date the last night. Then she walked into foolishness with Melissa and Benny. So now she's up in the morning. She walks into her kitchen. Melissa looks like stressed out, hungover. She looks like Eeyore with like a dark cloud just like hovering over her head. She looks super depressed. At this point, Hannah is like, where's Benny at? Well, at this point, Melissa's not worried about Benny. She doesn't know where he's at. But she does thank Hannah for allowing her to stay there. Then at some point, Melissa asks Hannah for coffee. And so Hannah says, "I mean, sure, I can give you some, but that's not good for the baby." Melissa's like, "Girl, I don't care." And then she was like, "But you should." And she's like, Hannah's like, "Don't say things like that." Melissa said, "No, it's true. Like, this baby is unwanted. I was forced to seduce and become impregnated by a woman's gay son. Okay. Like, I don't even want this baby." Like, and so then Hannah proceeds to not go into too much detail, but basically tells Melissa how she at one point was in the same situation where she was pregnant with a child that she didn't think that she would want. And of course, we know she's talking about Candace because she was raped. And I guess at this point, Melissa is kind of like opening up a little bit. We kind of see like a real like soft, vulnerable side of Melissa. But Hannah did tell her, she didn't think she was ready for it, and she didn't think she wanted her baby, but when she felt her baby move inside of her, something moved her, and, she started to grow attached to the baby, and once the baby was born, like, she just loved the baby at first sight. So basically, she's trying to encourage Melissa, give her hope. Melissa is mad at the world right now because of her current situation and because her dad died and her mom's a horrible person. Veronica's a horrible person. She's just like, I don't know. Like, she's blaming God at this point. And Hannah understands because crazy things have happened to Hannah. But she's trying to tell Melissa to still keep the faith anyway, and that kind of trying to reassure her that everything's going to be okay, although she's mourning right now. And then she even tells her things are going to get better. I promise you they will. I'm going to pray for you, and I want you to have a great day. So then Hannah gets her stuff, and she leaves to go to work. Okay, so now we have David, okay? David comes downstairs in his big empty house with the cracked window, looking casket sharp, okay? He has on a suit, all the fixings and everything. Like, he looks like he's going to court because he is. Or going to jail at least to get Jeffrey bailed out. So at this point, Erica is all like chipper and happy, and like the house is smelling good, and she's like, I cooked you breakfast, honey. And he's like, oh, that's so nice, that's so sweet, I actually smell it, but I don't have time, I gotta go down to the jail. She's like, do you want me to go with you? She's trying to come off as the supportive girlfriend, and he's like, no, I think it'd be better if I go on my own, but thank you so much, and I just really appreciate you. Excuse me. And then, so she's like, okay, and like getting all close to him, getting all lovey-dovey, because they'll get it started in 2.5 seconds. Like, if they sneeze, if they accidentally rub each other, like, they're going to end up in the bed or on the steps or on the floor or wherever, because they be everywhere. So, anyways, he's like, no, 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 I want to do that, but I don't got time for it today. And then she's like, okay, well, have a great day. I love you. And then she's like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. And at this point, I'm thinking, is this Erica? Okay, like genuinely Erica? Or is this Candace's Erica? Okay, is she playing a game, or is she really falling for him? Like, did she really mean to say I love you, or did she mean for it to slip to kind of like pull him in closer? Y'all tell me what y'all think, because I go back and forth with Erica and David. I don't know if she's really falling for him, but he's clearly really falling for her. When she corrects herself, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, like I didn't mean to say that. What I'm basically trying to say is that I'm really falling for you. And she's like, do you not feel the same way about me? He's like, no, actually, I do feel the same way about you. It just kind of scares me a little. David isn't completely dumb, and he does have, an extra set of eyes on her. I think he's trying to look at her logically and look at her with his heart, but he's looking more with his heart at this point. But he's just a little hesitant, so we'll see, if he catches on to her at some point. But anyways, she tells him have a great day, and then she like sachets away, and like she legit looks really happy. So I don't know about Erica. But anyways, then we have Hannah. She shows up at Kathryn's house for her first day of work, amazed by how big the house is and how she's even going to get anything done because it's so big. But Kathryn's excited. She's really just happy to have her friend around again. They talk like vaguely about their sons. Neither one of them go into details, but basically like neither one of their sons are doing great in life right now. But what's new? So they wanted to turn to something positive. So of course Hannah updates Kathryn on her date. That she had a great time and she got to see Stephanie Mills and it was just great. She even asked Kathryn if she's talked to Derek and Kathryn was like, no, I haven't. Of course, that's a lie. We know that Kathryn talked to Derek, but Kathryn is going to have to like slow her roll and kind of stay out of their situation because that's a little weird. But anyways, Hannah is just going on and on and on about her wonderful date. So then all of a sudden, Hannah and Kathryn, they head into the kitchen, and what do you know? In Tyler Perry land, we see Derek. Like, Derek is always popping up at the perfect time because, once again, it's a setup by Kathryn. So Kathryn walks out of the kitchen, and Derek, like, comes all extra close to Hannah and, like, leans in for a passionate kiss. And, like, she kissed him back and then finally was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, girl, you wanted that, okay? Like, you're not used to people being that forward with you, but you didn't stop him. And I'm thinking, like, dang, Derek, you aggressive. Like, y'all had one little tea date in Kathryn's house, and then y'all went to dinner and dancing, and now, like, what, like, she a girl or something? Like, you just, like, pulling her in to kiss her. So that's how Hannah is reacting as well. She's like, no, don't do that. He's like, well, you didn't stop me. And then, like, but he's all extra close up on her while she's talking. I think Derek has peeped her out. Like, okay, like, she tries to play hard to get, but I know how to work with her kind. So the whole time she's talking and kind of trying to like play him to the side, he is literally like kissing distance from her. And you can tell it's making her like hot and bothered, like kind of nervous, like a little schoolgirl. And he's like, okay, well, I want to see you after work. She's like, okay. Like, are you serious? Like, okay, just don't do this here. Like, but you can tell like she has butterflies in her stomach and she's happy. And he's like, okay, well, clearly nothing's broken here. Kathryn just wants to set us up, so I'll leave. Great. So then we have Veronica. Veronica is sitting at her desk at home in front of the computer, and she is about that bun life, okay? Yeah, Veronica's hairstyles this season, I have been loving it. Like, I feel like it shows like a true version of Veronica. All those little fake wigs and stuff that like just didn't, they look plastic on her, but I love her hair now. So she has her swoop in her bun life, and she is looking at a tracker on the computer. And I'm thinking, who in the world is she tracking? Is it David? Is it Benny? It's Melissa. How did we find this out? Well, Veronica automatically calls Benny. Benny is hesitant to pick up the phone, but he picks it up anyway. And then she's like, "Did I wake you?" He's like, "No, you didn't." She's like, "Oh, okay. So she's at your house, huh?" And he's like, "Who?" And she's like, "Melissa, what? Like, you didn't think I was going to find out these things? Like, I know these things." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" Still trying to play her. And she was like, "You men are all alike. You always want to throw away a good woman that's been good to you for some little young thing. Oh, okay. Like, you're just like David once again." Now, like, Benny is on her, like, destroy him list. Okay. So then he's like, "What?" Like, still trying to play dumb. And so Veronica's like, "Well, do you want her?" And Benny says, "No, I don't want her." And then she said, "Okay, so then why you getting busy with her?" And then he's like laughing, like, "Are you serious? Like, you know you're crazy, right? Like, I'm not yours." And I'm like, "Benny, okay, y'all have been intimate several times. Every time she calls you or texts you, you come running like a little puppy. You like were like the you rescued her out of a life-threatening situation, pulled her out of a burning car, and then picked her, like, went to the hospital and checked on her and everything. Like, you might not have been in a relationship with her, but she was in a relationship with you, okay? Like, it was a situationship, but to her it was a relationship. And you literally kept leading her down that path. Like, it was literally like a thin line between love and hate with Martin Lawrence and Lynn Whitfield. Like, come on, Benny. You're not, no, you really are that stupid. But anyways, and so Veronica's like, "You come in my house and disrespect me, and you don't think I'm going to get back at you?" And he's like, "Look, I didn't do anything to you." Stupid point once again. You did in her house, but whatever. And so she was like, "This was my house and my son's fiance." And he's like, "Your son is gay." And she's like, "Excuse me? First of all, you don't even know my son, so you don't need to be talking to him. You can't talk about him." And I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, Veronica, so like you talk about him like a dog, but nobody else can." A lot of people have that rule. Okay, I talk about my family, but you can't talk about my family. She's still in denial. Benny says, "You know what? I know he doesn't want her and I don't want you." And she says, "Okay, well, that's clear, but just know that I will get you back." And that is definitely a promise we will find out later on in the episode. So they hang up, and there's a knock at Benny's door. It's Melissa, still playing the innocent role. She basically comes in to apologize to Benny for everything that happened the night before. He asked her, like, "Did you talk to your mother?" She's like, "No, why?" He's like, "Well, you're going to have to find somewhere to go." And she's like, "No, your mom said that I can stay here." Then Benny is like, "She lying." And then so Melissa's like, "Well, she doesn't seem like the type of person to lie to me." And then he is like, "You know what, by the way, and I didn't realize you were pregnant." And she was like, "What, you couldn't tell? Like, you didn't see my belly?" And I'm like, "Melissa, nobody saw your belly, okay? Like, your belly is non-existent, okay?" Like, and so he's like, "Not really." And she's like, "Oh, no, I'm definitely pregnant. I'm usually as flat as a board." And I'm like, "Girl, like, what are you usually? A skeleton?" Like, girl, bye. So, anyways, and so Benny says, "Well, you and that baby, y'all need to find somewhere to go because y'all ain't gonna be able to stay here." And she's like, "Well, I just need a day or two." So she says, like, "You can sleep with me, but you can't have compassion with me for me to have somewhere to stay." And he's like, "You're not a prostitute, okay? You're not gonna stay at my house just because you slept with me. Like, that's not how this goes down." So of course, Melissa's attitude comes all the way out because it always does. Okay, she can only be nice for so long, and she's like, "This is ridiculous. I'm not going going anywhere. Your mother said I can stay here. Since you live with your mother and this is not your house, you don't make the rules. So I'm staying here, and like shuts the door and leaves. I'm like, Lissa, you need to get a job, okay? Somebody commented last week and said she needs to get a job, and I 1,000% agree, okay? You need to grow up and go get an apartment or something, okay? Go stay in an extended stay. You cannot be a kept woman your entire life and be living off of everyone and play the victim. Girl, bye. So anyways, then we have Jeffrey in the interrogation room. He's in there, doesn't know who's coming in, but of course the Ice Queen herself shows up. And she's like, good morning, my love, reminding me of Monique. And so Jeffrey is like, I don't have time for this. Trying to call the guards to come in. She's like, calm down. I'm trying to get you out of here. You just need to sign this affidavit. He's like, I'm not signing anything. She said, yes, you do need to sign it. Like, this is your way out. Stop playing games, okay? And then he refuses to sign it. But then he actually looks at it, and he's like, this affidavit says that Benny killed Quincy and did it alone. I'm not signing this. Like, I'm not putting him in that position. You know, Jeffrey has a heart. And Veronica is like, why not? Like, what? Like, that's your man? Like, you trying to protect him? And he's like, are you serious? Like, oh, I get it. You probably tried to sleep with him and he refused, and now you're mad, so you're trying to get back at him. This is hilarious. Like, seriously, you're way too old for him. And Veronica is getting like all like bothered, but trying not to show it. Like, in her mind, she's thinking like, honey, okay, I've already been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and I don't want him anymore. You know, trying to play it cool. But he's like, I'm not signing that. Like, whatever issue, whatever happened with y'all, that's on you, but I'm not signing that. And she's like, are you serious? Are you stupid? Okay, fine. You don't sign it. You're going to go to court. You're going to go to trial. I could easily pin it all on Benny, because they know that a male and a female did it, and Benny was the one that buried Quincy. Although you're saying he helped his sister, but I don't care. I can paint it the right way. But since you don't want to cooperate, you'll go to court and you will lose. Then you'll get transferred to jail. Then you'll be in a little hole just like this. So get used to this life. Gets her stuff and decides to walk out and says she's so disappointed in him. And at this point, Jeffrey is like, I done been in this cage for a minute. Stop. I will sign it. Now, we don't actually see him sign it, so I don't know that he's going to go forward with it, but we do see that he's out of jail next week, so that must mean he signed it, but we will see. Anyways, speeding things up, quick little thing with Gia. Gia and Candace are texting back and forth. Jim Cryer is laying by Gia. She says that he's asleep, and then Candace tells her to come to the room. So Gia goes to Candace's room. Then she starts like giggling out loud, like, oh, Jim is so funny. He's talking about his wife and da-da-da. And then bam, out of nowhere, Candace slaps her like, girl, are you stupid? Like, remember who you are. You are nobody, okay? Like, you are a prostitute, and that's what he is always going to look at you as. You're getting attached, and that is how you lose in this game. Like, you're just dumb, okay? Get it together. Don't come in here telling me about how he's funny. He's not funny. You have a job, and just do your job and remember who you are, and don't start to like him and get attached. And then she asked her, how much money did you make? Gia says $1,500, and Candace was like, how do you expect me to live off of $1,400? And I'm thinking, dang, Candace, you only gonna give her $100? Like, she did all the work. Whatever. So at that point, Candace gets a notification on her phone, and it shows a very large dollar amount. At that point, Candace just sees dollars. Cha-ching, it's payday, okay? She's like, Gia, you know what? I changed my mind. You keep all that money. I'm done with this. I'm done with you. Get out of my room. And Gia is like, no. And Candace is like, no, I'm serious. Just take the money and leave. And Gia's like, no, I'll do better. I can do better. I promise. I just made a mistake. And I'm like, girl, like, you want to get slapped around? Like, you want a pimp? Like, I guess she must like the structure, instructions or something. I don't know, but it was crazy, okay? And Candace is literally like, girl, you have a whole problem. Like, why are you doing this? Get out. Puts her out. And Gia is even yelling outside the door like, Candace, I promise. Like, I'll do better. And Candace is like, you have one more time to say something and you're going to regret it. So Gia finally leaves. And Candace looks so satisfied and happy. Okay, so then we have Oscar. Oscar's in his room. He opens up his laptop nervously, and then he like signs in, and he is relieved to find that the money is still there, going to the Crier Company. Okay, I'm thinking that might be Candace's company. But okay, we shall see. So the next thing you know, we have Gia. Stupid. Okay, this is gonna be fast because she's so dumb. She walks into her room. She's sad and she's like crying and makes it obvious to Jim. Then she expects him to console her. He's like, I can make you feel good. She's like, but she doesn't want to be intimate. He's like, okay, well, what you think this is? Like, just take your money. Look, I'm gonna just make it rain for you. Okay, like I'll even give you an extra 20 a tip. Like, I'm not here for this. I deal with drama at home. I'm not dealing with this from you. And literally leaves her like she's a piece of trash, like she's nothing more than a prostitute. Exactly what Candace just got done telling her. So this is a lesson learned for Gia. So the next thing you know, we have Oscar. As soon as Jim is in the hallway, Oscar calls him on his cell phone, let him know the transfer has been made and he wants his check. Jim is like, okay, I'll give you your check once I go home and confirm that the money is in the account. Okay, so then last, certainly not least, we are back at the bar where Wyatt is with a drug dealer that he has gotten drugs from, but he still needs to pay him his money by swiping his ATM card. So Wyatt is under the influence on the floor in the bathroom. The dealer comes and gets him like, look, I need my money on time, okay? It's time to pay up. Let's walk to the ATM. Of course, Wyatt doesn't realize that it's either Candace or Oscar or his dad that has his money at this point. So he swipes his ATM card. It doesn't work. He swipes again. It doesn't work. He swipes again. It doesn't work. And he is freaking out. Meanwhile, the drug dealer is like, oh, so you playing games with me? Like, I think you think this is a game. And pulls out his gun, and Wyatt is shook. So, we already know this is going to be a ransom situation, and the criers always run to their kids' defense no matter what. So, we already know how this storyline is going to go. But anywho, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the episode below, and catch me on my next video. Bye.